Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Shaw, and let's drum up some controversy. Um, as recent, we have done a Pokemon Generation 2 marathon. Uh, stand by anything I've said in the past. They are fantastic. Um, sometimes it's hard to pick between them and Gen 1, but like it is the superior game. Added the most to the franchise. They accomplished so much on the game. And it's to date the only generation we've ever seen the exploration of multiple regions. So that's gonna start my discussion here of how I feel um, Pokemon is peaked 23 years ago at Gold and Silver, and here are some reasons why. On top of that, it's gonna be my controversial opinion that competitive Pokemon gaming particularly has actually negatively impacted solo player gameplay. And here's why. We're going to jump right into that. And in doing so, we're actually going to play some of the footage from that said playthrough we did. So this is leading up into Lance. This is literally the end of the game. Lance actually took us 2 tries, which is something that doesn't really happen unless we full on intend it to happen. In playthroughs. I mean, we struggled in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl against Cynthia, but there was some nonsense that happened. Can't quite remember, but there was definitely some RNG manipulation. Anyways, so let's play this video in the background as I talk. So you'll see we'll go into Lance, and we're gonna see some mechanics that he does that are mechanics that you won't see. You won't even see anything close in more recent games. Our big mistake here is we actually don't switch our Pokemon. We intended to go in first with Ampharos. We knew he led with a Gyarados. As we fucked up and led with a Fortress. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see here in a sec if it's Fortress. So yeah. So we're already off to a rough start. Another thing to point out actually, part of this game that is phenomenal. Many times throughout the game when we were running with our Pineco Fortress, we'd use rollout, and then they would almost immediately respond with a protect, which resets your rollout. Or if I killed a Pokemon, they would switch to a Pokemon, it would have protect. You don't see stuff like that. Like it does. They don't do things like that. Like, come on. Like, what's wrong with having your AI a little high? So you'll see here we make a mistake by switching our Ampharos. We should have kept our Ampharos out. But this is the first display of just things you don't see in games. Um, this is less the competitiveness. This is actually more gearing towards them making the game kid friendly. So just Dragonite Paralyze, no big deal. But it has Rain Dance and Thunder. Although I believe I was the one that used Rain Dance there. It does have Rain Dance itself though. Anyways, which makes Thunder 100% accurate. But the big thing, let's skip ahead a few frames here. You don't need to see my Politoed get owned. Skip ahead to yeah, Politoed's out. Ampharos just beat that dragon. This is a second Dragonite. Uh, let's get to his ace, his third Dragonite. Which I'm starting to think. Yeah, we're on his third Dragonite here. So you'll start to see something here where it runs Safeguard, which is no problem. However, in this game, the confusion from Outrage is not affected by Safeguard, or is affected. Like Safeguard affects it. He does not get confused, so he can just keep using Outrage as long as Safeguard's up. So after 5 turns, puts on a Safeguard up, uses Outrage, and he continues to do this. And in later games, it's balanced so that Safeguard no longer does that. But it only needs to be balanced for competitive. There is no reason in a single player game that that's not something that can be, that that's not something that the NPC can use against you or that you can get through the game and build a strategy to use to beat the game. There's no reason why those mechanics don't need to exist. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't hinder the solo player experience at all having them in there. In fact, it hurts it removing them. Takes away that difficulty. And you know what? You say what you will. Oh, but kids play these games. They can't be that hard. Well, you know what? 23 years ago, this came out. I was 12. I was a kid. I beat these games when they came out. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how hard a Pokemon game is. Because it's an RPG. It can always be outleveled. Every RPG can always be outleveled. And that's why there's no value in not making them hard. It should be as hard as possible. Why not? You know, for average Joe to be rushing through the game, you know, he should be told, oh, hey, you got to figure this shit out, or you're gonna have a bad time. Like that, just be part of the game experience, I think, and a lot of people probably agree. There's no reason this franchise needed to go in the direction it did. Sure, they could have been, if they made it more kid friendly and added competitive games because they wanted them to succeed, then obviously that shows me that they already had doubts that their franchise would continue to succeed past Generation 2. That's already showed me that they felt they failed to do what Square Enix has done with Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and several other RPG franchises. Maybe Disgaea, which Disgaea came out on after Pokemon, and it's been very successful. We're into 7 titles. It's no Final Fantasy, but it has its fan base. It's still making money. Fire Emblem, like, yeah, Pokemon blew up. It happened. However, Pokemon blew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then had a lull with Generation 3, where they started to implement these changes. And then Generation 4, and then didn't really start to reemerge 5, which 5 was a very nostalgic trip for players. They designed it very, very much like, with the 150 Pokemon, taking people back to their roots. They added some quality of life changes. Hidden mechanics, like hidden abilities, were great, but hidden abilities brought up their own set of craziness, like no guard fissure on Machamp. That was a thing, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be a thing. It wasn't easy to obtain. Kudos, you got a hidden ability in Machamp. You taught it fissure. You figured out those two abilities come together. You deserve to one-around one-shot and things. Why not? But they did away with that because, we can't have it in a competitive environment. And like, I used to play World of Warcraft, and I felt the same way about PvE and PvP in that game. They needed to be 2 different games. It was always a feel bad when your class would get nerfed because something was too strong in PvP, but was completely balanced in PvE. And then all of a sudden, now you're not doing as good as you were. You're having more difficulty farming. Your raid's suffering because you're doing less damage. And it's nonsense. It's garbage. Literally. Competitive gaming ruins the solo player experience. Fact. Prove me wrong. Anyways, I guess that's enough. Anyway, a lot of people, I'm a small streamer, small YouTuber. So, lots of people probably won't watch my video, but of the people that do, I'm sure this is going to rattle some feathers. Some people probably be quite upset with my opinion, probably tell me I'm wrong, but that's okay. They're allowed to do that. Because everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own voice. I'm voicing mine. And Gold and Silver, hands down, the best Pokemon games. Pokemon peaked, prove me wrong. Anyways, that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sure a lot of people won't. But if you did, drop a like, comment, and if you didn't, hey, drop a comment too. Maybe you can change my mind, or maybe I can. Lance just beat my ass. Maybe you can change my mind, or maybe there's something I can do to make things more enjoyable for you. Until next time, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.